Welcome to my video, Mygen teacher. I hope you're having a nice day. So it's nice to reflect on. I know you care about our reflections, but it's good to reflect on yourself. So let's start and continue with my process document. So hopefully this works. So the cape. I was in charge of the documentary making, so I was the one who shot it and edited it together. So it was a nice thing because I had to learn Premiere Pro somehow, so this was a nice opportunity. The one on the left right now is about what I thought it was going to be, and you can see now that it's not as I thought it would be. I thought learning, what did I write for myself? 57%. I was not that after doing the online test. It was more that I wanted to have learning as 57% because I kind of realized that learning was the most advantageous one of all. Here's my research about the meta skills, watching that video that Yolette showed us, and research about soft skills, how meta skills are more about learning and they're allowing you to be good at learning. Oh, and this was about, so first we started with the meta skill seeing, and the thing we started off with was critical thinking. And critical thinking was, we had a big discussion about what affects critical thinking, and I found that really useful. Critical thinking was something that, I didn't think I was a critical thinker at the time, but then more throughout the lesson I realized I was. And I have a video. This is a lesson from Harvard, from the business side of Harvard, talking about different situations that we put themselves in, and kind of it's nice seeing the students how they would try to solve the situation, the problem they're put in, simply just through argument and critical thinking. So this was my biography homework I did. I had to get more accustomed to just talking about myself more. Another thing was having an alter ego. An alter ego was quite nice because the work was, it made me realize I just want to make stuff, and it doesn't matter what I want to make, I just want to make cool stuff. And objective versus subjective, I know what that is. Objective is more factual based, subjective is more emotional and opinion based. Being selective, so I select videos on my YouTube. I constantly look at tutorial videos on YouTube for Photoshop and all the things. Whenever I have free time, I do them and just watch them and try to recreate them in my own way. Another thing was that I DM a lot of people, so just looking on Instagram, I see this random cool artist and I'm just like, hey, I want to ask them a question, because it's like, I don't really have the circle that I can be surrounded by that have that high level of skill, and it's not a cost them. I get to talk to these people on every day, so I just send them a message and 1 out of 4 responds. This is the challenge myself, which is the SMART challenge, where I was paired with a classmate, and her challenge for me was just to talk and generalize people in a sense, where so it's easier to initiate conversation because you're just basing it off something you already know. So this is a lot of the thing was challenging myself was struggle as process. A lot of time throughout the process documents I struggled in the sense where I wasn't organized, I wasn't disciplined, so I'd have to end up doing the work at the end. And you think you'd learn after the first time, and I did it the second time. So a lot of my struggle came from a lot of work, being under high amounts of stress. Yeah, this basically also talks about how I use my competition. I use my people in my class or people in my year, especially with year fashion. When you see other people, you use that as competition. You kind of see that, oh, they did it, that's good, and I want to make it better. And that made me really competitive. And I realized that after a while, I wasn't as competitive. And I think I just needed to find something that makes me motivated without being competitive. Something that's from within, something that's organic and sustainable. And that's something I want to have. I just realized that Ikigai, which is something that my teacher told me to read, it helped a lot. It helped me find ways to, find a process where I get motivated. I just do. A lot of it's habit. So that's why I like the quote, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." That was a nice sign of motivation for me. Now we're moving on to the meta skill feeling. And this is where we talk about being connected and feeling just to talk. We had a lesson about having a conversation, and that was kind of nice, where you could just sit back and lay and feel a bit more relaxed and just talk to a person who you didn't really know, but you could get to know them, and it was just nice to talk to and sit down with someone and talk honestly to heart without any distractions and just be you. So yeah, another thing was that being in a group throughout the #TheWorld project, I was very, very, very egoistic, and I would start a lot of the arguments thinking that someone's work wasn't as good. I should be more professional, and I shouldn't call out people, be rude to them. I should just take a step back and look at the situation. Also, yeah, I realized that a lot of the DISC personality test was that a lot of the traits in my team were dominant. I think 4 people out of 5 were dominant, which was a bit hectic because that was the initiative of our fights, a lot of the fights. Also learning about so admiration, just to do the stuff what I wanted to do. So at the start of the year, I was really bad at Photoshop, and I got better over time, using Photoshop in tasks as for school. And then I also tried to do Illustrator. I also saw that in the process document, a lot of my work, it showed me a lot of it showed me what I could do. First of all, willpower will come from stress. So it was nice to just see my development over the time. So I also developed my style using from the Mygen materialization classes. After getting a lot of feedback that doing my personal piece, the teacher said she liked that I have my own handwriting, making more personal. Just so you could see in this that now you could see that I wanted to try combine graphic design with more street art, if that makes sense. So like graffiti and graphic design together, and then putting that all together basically, and making something cool of it. It just even it's something that I would like to do. So understanding my values, this is kind of the end. Just talking about me seeing my values. I realized that workers' rights and diversity was a show what I like. So I realized at the end that it's kind of more about I care more about the humanitarian work in fashion and just fighting for people's rights. And that's the end. That's how much I got so far. So this is part of the video where I can talk about the assignment that brought me the most creative growth. And I don't know if I can do that, but I'm deciding to do the process documents, including this one. I chose it just because being constantly hammered to do editorial design, to constantly reflect on yourself, it helps a lot, as you are forced, you're building discipline on yourself and learning how you work creatively and just physically right now, learning habits that can make you or break you, and just learning how to take care of yourself while the stress is high. As a lot of the time I do the process documents, or most people, you do them at the end even though you're not supposed to, but you're just at those moments is when I'm most productive. So that gave me a lot of creative growth, in the sense where I'm constantly doing design, I'm constantly writing, constantly reflecting for hours for a whole week, and it's really challenging. But I feel like when I'm done with it, I feel like a new person. During these assignments, I'm learning more how to creatively work. As for the beginning, to build a structure that I could follow throughout the whole process document, not try to just build a structure that I'm happy enough with and I could follow. Comparing my first process document and the second one, I could see I've developed more in design overall, in the sense how fonts work and what fonts to use for a headline and other that, just more specifically, and then especially the sizes and all about the typography and how important font is. So that was something that was slowly appearing for me, and you don't realize it until you see your whole process. So from the process books compared, I think my goals, aspirations would be just to keep getting better at it. I don't think I'm fantastic. I don't think there's plenty of inspirations I have, such as free magazine skateboarding. That's the one I have. Actually, I have one here right now. It's just more about it's very minimalistic, but done in such a good way that it doesn't feel empty or anything. Another one is Idea Magazine. That's the one I really want to learn how to do, because it's a combination of Adobe Cloud as a whole. I just want to learn how to captivate that and hopefully work towards that and achieve that. So experiments I've done, the experiments I've done are literally just trying to learn different Adobe skills. I constantly try to pick up different styles, play around what works with one and what doesn't. As I showed in the process document, literally there, hopefully, create something that doesn't get old, timeless. So I think this is, a majority of my video. Hope you liked it. Hope I wasn't too boring. Hope that, I can survive this and, send it to you by the time. And hopefully I'm not late. So have a nice day.